Andrea, this has been one fun week. We are now going to talk about the fans' vote for Best Mystery. I don't think it was a surprise where it ended up, but I think there were a lot of surprises along the way. What do you think?
I mean, this whole thing got started because you said crosswords is a top three mystery by the fans. And I said, no way. So that's where this came from. And maybe you were right.
Maybe. This is Eric,
This is Andrea.
and it's Hallmark Mysteries
And
and more.
more.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark channel.
Okay, Andrea. So before we get started talking about the brackets and how they different mysteries did, we have a couple things of news to share. The first one, the fifth episode of Curious Cater, which is going to come into play a little bit later in our discussion. But the fifth episode, Tough Cookie, I believe it's called, is filming right now as we speak. So I think it's exciting that we're getting a fifth of a mystery. Now we have a whole bunch of single ones too, but that's a whole nother story. But I
Yeah.
don't know. What do you
No,
think?
I'm excited. After the last Curious Cater, like that was my favorite. Probably one of my favorite, actually, like looking at all of the Hallmark mysteries as a whole. Like as we just said this, I'm like, I kind of want to watch that one again tonight because it was just so good. Like, it gave me kind of the cozy, snowy
All right.
feel. Like I'm intrigued by this.
Now, I don't really know anything about it. We could look up and read things and do some investigating and find out, but I'll be lazy and just find out. I did tell JC to take notes so she remembers what's going on because we always talk to her afterwards and she's like, "Yeah, I don't remember. That was a long time ago when we filmed." So, but now would you say that you like each one have liked it more and more, or was it kind of a steady, just and then this last one, the fourth one, you're like, okay, I like it now.
A slow burn. Like for me, these are all like, yes. Now, this next one is kind of like my make it or break it. Like if this one continues on that path, I think I am all in on Curious Caterer. If it falls back to maybe the first few that I was like, then it might not. But I am starting to really like that series.
The one thing I've heard from our friends over there, because we've got to talk to all three leads now on this one is supposed to be pretty funny, and Marla is featured a little more. So I'm not complaining about that, but a little more humor. And this will also be
Interesting.
the first one where they are actually not Marla, but Andrew and Nikki are going to be the actual couple at this point. So
Now,
we,
question for you. So, speaking of adding humor, so I feel like maybe they're going too much on the humor. Like, I like some mysteries that are a little more serious, but we had Signed, Sealed, Delivered also was a little bit more humorous this last movie. Crime Time, which I did love, was a little bit more humorous. If they put humor into this one, are they leaning too much into humor? Can they? What do you think?
well, we have found out that the Nellie Knows Mystery is supposed to be a pretty funny one coming up as well.
Yeah.
So I like the humor ones. They're not, they're not dark. I guess the dark one that we've had most recently would be the Crimes of Fashion,
Yeah.
probably, right? And then I would say, well, Family Practice, I guess that wasn't really funny per se. That was just, I don't know what it was. Um,
Not the best.
yeah.
Although someone
So
did vote for it, so as their favorite.
yeah, well, there we go. All right, and the other news is Hallmark Enthusiasts broke out that Cases of Mystery Lane is coming with the second episode on 8/30, and this is based on the website. However, the website it has it listed as pilot for the episode, and the episode's actually called Death is Listening. So I'm thinking this may be a case of the website, the webmaster, whoever's working on it, was working on a page meant to keep it as, you know, save, not actually publish it because they haven't completed it. I don't know because something's not right. I don't know. I was excited, but as the more I looked at it, I just either the new one is coming out in 8:30 and they haven't released any information yet, or it's a mistake. One or the other.
Maybe it's like
So
a Beyonce album drop where it's just like, boom, it's here. Like no promotion, just drop it for us.
where's Mystery Lane? I know well, I'm guessing it's not in your top 5, but was it one that you liked? I don't remember what your initial review was
Yeah,
way
I
back
like
when.
it. I mean, there's some other newer ones that are more my
Right.
favorite.
Okay.
And this, I mean, that one was number 10 ranked in our brackets. It got knocked out the first round, but it had a tough opponent. So
Okay.
people enjoyed it.
All right. All right. We ready to talk about the brackets?
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
start with like the how did they get seated? So we on the Instagram, so if anyone
Which,
doesn't
by
have
the way, it was wrong. We had a lot of people telling us we're wrong.
oh, but it
Which,
broke down to the right things, right?
well, no, I meant just the fact like, oh, this one shouldn't have been ranked
Oh,
higher than this one.
oh,
And I'm like, it was based. Well, you can go ahead and
yeah.
explain it. It's
So
not our
how
fault.
yeah, how they got their seating, which we had done initially the week prior, is I put like a little question box in the Instagram DM and I said, tell me your top 2 favorite Hallmark mystery series or like one-off movies that you want to see as a series. And so I had all of them written down. And we had 32 different mysteries voted for. So that's almost all of them. There was only a handful that didn't get any votes, like really, of all of the mystery series. So the poor
Would
ones,
our favorite of the year be one of those?
the favorite of the year got a lot of votes.
No, no, no. Guilt. I was being facetious.
No,
Gilded.
Gilded Age did not get any. Um, the other ones that didn't get any were Fixer Upper, which is shocking to
What?
me. I know they didn't get any votes. Crime Time did get no votes for Crime Time. True Justice, no votes. And the one that actually was the most shocking to me. So all of those are one-offs, except for Fixer
Right.
Upper. Fixer Upper, though, it's been a while. People haven't seen it. Morning Show got no votes. And that has multiple movies in it. No votes for Morning Show. So that was kind of shocking to me.
That
Otherwise,
that is
every
shocking.
single other series, because I went through and looked at them all, everything else got votes. Emma Fielding, Flower Shop, Ruby Herring, they all at least got Crimes of Fashion. All of them at least got 1 vote.
And Emma Fielding wasn't even eligible, right?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I thought that was before um
No, Garage
before
was
the
the
cutoff.
first in 2013. So
Right. I thought that, well, there was a couple like Mystery Woman was before, and
correct.
so
Like
I thought Emma Fielding
Emma
was one.
Fielding was
Oh,
no, she was
Jane
the
Doe. No, it's
yes.
Jane
I was
Doe
like,
that was
she was the
before.
archaeologist.
Right, right.
And so I went through and I counted up how many people had first place votes. So Mystery 101 had the most people voting, as that
Shocker.
was their top favorite. So it got the 1 seed. Number 2 was Murder She Baked. So that got the 2nd seed. And so people wanted Signed Sealed Delivered higher, but that got the 5th seed because that was the next highest. Because then we had what was our 3 seed? Crossword was 3 seed, 4 seed was Curious Caterer, and then Signed Sealed was at 5. And so that's how they all got ranked. We voted the last ones in. So to make it to 16, because we decided, to make a nice bracket, 32 is going to be too much and it's going to take forever and people might lose interest in the contest at that point too. So we cut it to 16 and I had people vote to even make it. So the ones that were kind of on the chopping block or got chopped off before they didn't even make the brackets, we had Francesca Quinn, Dancing Detective, Chronicles, and Martha's Vineyard. And Chronicles destroyed them. We had Haley Dean, The Old Aurora, Ruby Herring, and Flower Shop. And The Old Aurora won that pairing to make it into the brackets. And then the last brackets were Emma Fielding, Crimes of Fashion, Jane Mysteries, and Darrow to make the 16th seed. So that's kind of how everything got situated. It was all based on numbers and all based on what people voted for. So that's how we kind of set up our brackets.
So once again, it was not us just being arbitrarily, oh, we think this one's there by our personal biases, because we know if it was our personal biases, which we'll get into later, it would have been very different brackets. Very different brackets, I think.
Yes. Yes, it
Well,
would.
I wanted you to give us Little rundown of how the first round went then.
Yeah, so we had the 1 seed against 16, so Mystery 101 matched up with Darrow and Darrow. And shocker, Mystery 101, 86%, Darrow and Darrow, 14%. Was that shocking to you?
No.
Not shocking to me either. Nikki and Nora matched up. So Nikki and Nora had the 8th seed. Garage Sale had the 9th seed. Nikki and Nora had 44%, Garage Sale 56, and I was pumped. I love Garage Sale.
I will
So
say I was on the opposite side there.
I was very excited to see that Garage Sale pulled it off. The next matchup, which was one of the bigger separations, shockingly, number 4 seed, Curious Caterer. 13 was Mystery Island. The percentage breakdown, 85% Curious Caterer, just 15 for Mystery Island.
So that's
That
even.
actually was shocking to me.
All right, no, that's not quite as
It's a
big. That's one
percent
less.
less. Yeah. So that was the next biggest gap between two movies. So, I mean, for as much as you love Mystery Island, I was kind of surprised that was a huge, huge gap. The next matchup was Signed, Sealed, Delivered and Haunted Harmony. So Signed, Sealed, Delivered was the 5th seed. Haunted Harmony was the 12th seed. This actually is a pretty, so Signed, Sealed, and Delivered really cruised through our brackets, but Haunted Harmony gave it a run for its money. So, you know, Signed, Sealed had 68%, but Haunted Harmony hung in there with 32%, which I think is a pretty good considering people really love Signed, Sealed, Delivered. So that's impressive. The next one was our 2 seed, Murder, She Baked against the Old Aurora, which is our 15th seed. And Murder, She Baked won 65 to 35%, which again, Old Aurora gave it a run for its money.
That surprises me though, because there's a lot of
Aurora fans.
I would think there's a lot of Aurora just because how vocal they are, but
I think the matchup, if it would have matched up against a different movie, I think it probably would have came out on top. But because of the votes, it barely got into the brackets. It slid in at 15th seed. So I think against a different lineup, it might have pulled off an upset. The next one was Crosswords against Chronicles. Crosswords won 65% to 35%. And then our last one is Gourmet at 74%, Cut Color, Murder, which was our 11th seed. Gourmet was our 6th seed. Was 26%.
You did skip one.
Which one?
Tip line and cases.
Oh, I did. Tip line, but that was our closest matchup too. Tip line 53%, and Tip line was the 7th seed. Cases of Mystery Lane was the 10th seed, and that one had 47%. So that one was a really close matchup. So, what takeaways do you got?
Well, I was, and once again, it's what it was, but I was so disappointed when it was Tip line against cases because
Tough matchups.
those are just such good shows, and you knew one of them was getting knocked out earlier than it should. And Nikki and Nora kind of felt the same. I actually was surprised because I thought maybe a little bit of some recency bias, garage sale has come, it's gone. There hasn't been one for a little while. Nikki and Nora has some buzz still, people wanting that second one. I thought it would do a little better, but obviously not. So like I said, it come down to seating, right? A lot of the seating is just what it was. Tough ones, but the one that really got me was having to choose between cases and tip line. I'll say also crossword and chronicle. We'll talk about it later, but that was a personal tough one for me too. But yeah, the tip line cases. What about you?
Honestly, the one that was probably the toughest for me this round was the Murder, She Baked, Old Aurora, because those are both classics. Like those are two that I fell in love with.
I can see
mysteries. And so I think I voted Old Aurora because I figured it didn't stand as much of a chance as the Murder, She Baked. Yeah, and other than that, the rest of them pretty easy decisions for me. Tip line cases would probably be the next challenging. And I went with tip line for myself. Like it would have the edge slightly over cases. But that could be for me recency bias because I haven't watched cases since it came out.
Yeah. All right. Let's go into round 2.
Round 2, the matchups.
I don't know if we want to, but
it was the 1 seed against the 9th seed. So Mystery 101 against my Garage Sale. Mystery 101 won 79%, Garage Sale 21.
Did better than
Then
Darrow and Darrow.
it did. Curious Caterer, the 4th seed, matched up against the 5th seed, Signed, Sealed, Delivered. Unfortunately for Curious Caterer, it lost 56% to 44%. So it
Which
didn't.
that's
That's
considering the
again
post.
hanging in there.
Like, I'll say whether or not, and there's the debate, which we'll talk about in a second, but
Mhm.
I will have to say that as far as at least the most vocal, united group, it's the Mystery 101 and Postables. And so for Curious Caterer to hang that close, that's
Pretty good.
that's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah. And then Hannah, the number 2 seed, was with the 7th seed tip line. This also extremely close. Hannah had 53%, tip line 47. So again, for a one-off movie to come that close to the 2 seed, that,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully Hallmark sees our results and they need to be like, we need more tip line like stat. People loved it. And then our final matchup, which sad for us, it was crosswords with our 3 seed against our 6 seed gourmet, and crosswords won 65% to 35%, unfortunately for
That
us.
kind of shocked me too with how big of a gap that was. I thought it would
Yeah, I
be
thought it'd be way closer.
like a 55, 65, or 45 thing, whatever, something like that. I
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah, so then I did a consolation results because I wanted to get a true 5th place to find our true top 5 rather than just kind of percentage wise.
Right.
Which it actually would have changed, right? Like this is actually a different result than would have been what we would have picked. So for our consolation, these were to move on to the 5th place matchup. Curious Caterer matched up against Garage Sale. Curious Caterer won 64% to 36. So again, Garage Sale, for not having new ones in a while, hung in there. Tip Line barely edged out Gourmet, but it did 54% to 46. So again, Gourmet done once more, unfortunately. So that was our kind of matchup to get into that 5th place vote. I don't have my numbers for our 5th place. So we will just say that Curious Caterer did beat Tip Line. I should find those results and then I will get us those percentages. Eric, what do you have on those matchups?
I'll say tip line, considering it is the one-off, it just shocking that it would take down, ones that had more episodes, essentially proving to be the mystery, the little mystery that could. It is the most recent. So, is there recency bias going on with that? I don't think so, really. I think it's just that good of a new mystery. So that for me was kind of the big story
And
that
it was
happened there.
close. I found the percentage. Curious Caterer was 56%, Tip Line was 44. So it's not like it was a huge blowout. So again, Tip Line, the 6th place finisher. I mean, that's really good.
And like I say, and Murder She Baked Hannah, that's a weird one because it just barely beat it. It for as many people who do like it, they're just very unorganized, right? For as big of an audience as it has, they're just people just like it. They don't go crazy over it like they do
Yeah,
some of the other ones. So I found
that's
that.
that's a great point. So our final 4 then broke down to Mystery 101, our 1 seed against the 5th seed, Signed, Sealed, Delivered. And boy, that split at 50% apiece.
That was
And
tight.
5 votes separated them. So then when I went into actually how many voted, and we had about over 600 people voting on all of the different polls. And so it's not like it's a little sample size. We had a pretty good sample size. And so 5 votes kicked Mystery 101 over the edge and into the finals.
Well, if you think when we woke up and I texted you like, how is it? It was tied.
Yeah,
So
it was
it
tied.
was all
It was
and
literally the last hour.
it came down to the mystery 101 folks just wake up earlier than postables. That's all I can attribute it to, right?
And I waited
Because
till literally it disappeared. So I waited until it was done. Before some of these I called early or maybe even an hour early just because they were such big
right.
leads. Whereas this one I was on my phone waiting until that poll disappeared because you have 24 hours to vote in these polls in your story and then they go away. And so that's what happened there. And so 5 votes separated it. And then Hannah, the 2 seed, matched up against the 3 seed Crossword. And again, Hannah had tight matches the whole way through, but pulled it off. So 56% to 44%. So Hannah and Mystery 101 moved on to the championship. Then we had our third place matchup, which was Signed, Sealed, Delivered and Crossword. Shockingly, this was close. Signed, Sealed, Delivered had 54%. Crossword was at 46. So again, just as you had said, Crossword is just outside of that third place movie, Eric, but very, very close. So I will give you
Okay.
that.
All right. Well, I've got a couple thoughts here.
Okay.
Number one, I think that One Bad Apple
Yep.
really helped Hannah Swenson by being such a good episode that it really got, I think, a lot of people totally back
Excited for it.
on the Hannah wagon, because I think before it, a lot of people were starting to complain about Mike and Norman dragging out, and then it was with Mike, and then there was the whole fight with him, and people were getting annoyed about that. I think getting rid of Mike, bringing in Victor, gave it just that shot of energy that it needed. So I think that was one of the things that got it to there. The other thing I'll say is I think Signed, Sealed, Delivered, we got like several people saying it. While it's their favorite, even the postables are saying it's not a mystery. It's a
Well, some
drama.
postables, not everyone says that, but yeah.
Right. I mean, not literally everyone, but a lot of people are also saying it's not really a mystery. So I will go with them.
Yeah.
And as a result, take Signed, Sealed, Delivered out of the mystery category. Thus, what becomes number 3? Crossword.
Crossword. Oh gosh.
So
Well,
if we're talking dead bodies, oh, by the way, Family History Mysteries, I'm guessing that didn't have any votes, or did it?
I didn't. I forgot about it. I don't like
Okay.
that one at all. So I completely forgot about that one.
So, but obviously that one doesn't have a dead body. But yeah, so basically, as far as the true dead body mystery, Crossword number 3. So I am vindicated.
But then I say, if we took that out, the brackets would look completely different. And Haunted Harmony might move on in that first round. Curious Caterer would for sure move on and potentially knock out Crosswords for third place. So there's many ifs. So that's why I said I think we were going to maybe do this. So first, let me do the finals. So in case you don't have Instagram, don't know the results. Mystery 101 versus Murder She Baked, the 1-2 seeds. Mystery 101 blew it out of the water, 73% to 27%. So no question there. Mystery 101, definitely a fan favorite. But we did talk about this next year is because we are getting so many new one-offs and because Tipline did really well as a one-off in our brackets, we might do this maybe annually and just add in, hey, there's going to be new mysteries and there'll probably be new favorites as more and more mysteries come out. And so, and then we probably will take Signed, Sealed out of the mystery bracket just because it is kind of a little standalone. I know that might be some controversy there, but it just makes sense because I didn't vote for it any of the rounds just because of the same reason. I'm like, I'm treating it like a different style of movie.
Yeah,
Because it
like for
is.
me, I truly enjoy it. I just don't ever view it as a mystery. So when I rank mysteries, I never have it on my list
Yeah.
because I just don't view it that way. As much as
Same.
I like it, it's just not that. So my last thought I'll have on this is also of all the new mysteries, essentially I'll say like post-COVID, post-mystery 101, ending. So Curious Caterer is the only one that made it to the top 5. And in doing so, it's also the one that has multiple episodes. It has 4. So it's
I was just
allowed
gonna
us
say,
to
yeah.
build these character arcs. And just like you said, it took you a little while. It's a slow burn, but now you think you're hooked. So, going back to Hallmark listening, we've got 2 more brand new mysteries coming up. Yes, I love new mysteries. I get it. It's fun. It's exciting getting to meet new characters, but they just absolutely need to say, hey, we've got to start doing these additional episodes because that's what builds the loyalty. And look at, the shows that were up there. I don't know, Hannah Swenson's been around for 10 years. uh, Mystery 101. Obviously, it's been off the air for 2 years now. Yeah, it's still blowing away everybody. Crossword's been off for, I think, 3 years, blowing away, people.
Garage sale,
It's garage sale, right? It just you got to get them so we can
gourmet.
really get to know these characters. So
Yeah, and I think a good place to start would be looking at the bracket because these are the ones that people wanted more of is Mystery Island, Haunted Harmony, Tip Line, Cases. Those would be the
and,
four that would be the
like,
most,
right, like
fan push.
what would happen if we had a couple, cases of Mystery Lane? What if we had that a follow up to Color Murder, right?
Yeah.
Like all these ones, Nikki and Nora, I think they would do better. Now, would Nikki and Nora blow out Mystery 101? No, I think it's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take.
Tip Line has
Here's
probably got the most
That's
run
my
for its
thing.
money.
I will say, of
Seems to
everything
be
out
crossover
there,
fans there, I think.
I think Tip Line has, if it can maintain its quality of writing, I think it has everything it needs to go ahead
Catch up.
and get there where it can go head to head with Mystery 101. And that's pretty big, bold. That to me is a bigger statement than Crossword being a top three.
I love it. Well,
I don't
shoot.
know.
Do you want to share?
So, well, before I do that, the other thing, like you said, doing this again next year, we'll see how it goes when we hopefully have some multiple episodes of things rather than just more curious caters. But also another one, we had some people send us some DMs and they're like, hey, what about doing some other ones? So we don't want to keep doing this again and again because I think it will get fatigue. But later, maybe over the holidays when it's all Christmas movies,
Yeah.
mysteries have kind of slowed down. We're thinking about doing, maybe the favorite detective or favorite sidekick, one of those other things, and we can bring all those in and get a vote. I think favorite detective, we could probably write down the winner on that one and then second on and move on from there. But I think just in general, I think it's a fun thing. People really like the engagement. We had a ton of really positive feedback. Yes, we did have some people who did complain about certain things, but can't please everybody. So,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to wrap up by sharing our top 5 mysteries. And for me, I don't know about you, when I look at my rom-coms, my list stays pretty much the same year after year after year. And I finally this year had a shakeup with Round and Round knocking off other movies. But it's basically been for 3 years the same 5 movies. My mysteries, I seem to have more ebb and flow on them, where
Yeah.
I just sort of get into one, and maybe it's because I watch it again and I go, "Oh my gosh, this is so good." I'll use Flower Shop Mysteries. I love Flower Shop Mysteries. It's great. Whenever I watch it, it's up there. I'm like, "Oh God, this is so good." But I just took a real step back and I thought, what are the ones that I just time in, time out, just enjoy? And so my list probably, we talked about this before and I'm sure it was different. I don't know. Are you the same?
Yeah, that's basically how I took my list as well. I'm like, okay, like I sat down on the couch. I'm like, what mystery do I want to watch? And that's kind of how I viewed my list is what are my top 5, meaning what are the top 5? Like I'm sitting on the couch, I'll throw on an episode of XYZ mystery. And if one of them, well, we'll see. Mine is maybe not the same as what other people voted.
I don't, I
But
guarantee mine is not the same as when we look at our brackets. I do
and we
not
probably
follow
are
that.
not gonna have I know we won't have the same
I know we
here.
have one the same.
Yes, 1 and that's about it. So,
All right,
yeah.
what is your number 5?
Jane Mysteries.
A one-off.
Oh gosh, I know, I just love that movie. I've watched it so much. Of all the one-off movies, I've watched that one probably the most. It's just a fun one. I don't know why I like it.
You know why I think? Because it reminds me of Murder, She Wrote, season 4, episode 17. No, you know what I'm gonna do? You've inspired me to watch different Murder, She Wrotes because I joke about
See?
that. I
That's
will
great.
watch this weekend. I will watch Jane Mysteries again because I have not watched again. I don't think I watched it since the original airing. I did see like a little chunk of it once. Like I watched probably like 20 minutes when it was on TV and I was doing something, but I have not actually sat down and watched again. And I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it. The only thing I hated was Stephen Hussar's underutilization.
Well, that's my five.
Why do
What's
you
your
why do you
five?
why do you love it so much on your to make it your fifth?
I mean, I think it's like the setting. So a lot of these, like I was having a conversation in the DMs with a few people. I'm like, it's like the cozy setting. Like, what are you gonna throw on? And you're like, oh, this just the hotel pool. Like I think of that scene. Like the lounge, the closets.
I think I know why you like the
I mean,
hotel
it's
pool
none of
scene.
the it's none of the like actual mystery per se itself. It's more like the setting and it's the cozy genre. So that's why I like this one. And again, I'm a Jodie Sweetin fan, so apparently she suckered me in.
So with that, the Nelly Knows Mystery, which we alluded to a little earlier, I think you're gonna probably love that then because that's a little small town
I mean, this is all the
location
markings
one.
for something that I'm
So
gonna love. So I'm hopeful.
now are you fans of Pascal and Caven?
Kevin.
Cavan?
I mean, I watched When Calls the Heart. I love them as a couple. I gave up on When Calls the Heart, but I did watch it for a season and I enjoyed them and I enjoyed their scenes. I
Because
enjoy their movies. I really
yep,
like Pascal. Kevin I like too, but one of her last rom-coms, and I don't remember which one it was when it was maybe last year when she did one.
well, she
I
did the
loved it.
football one with Ryan, Fourth Down in Love.
I loved her.
Right.
I loved her. Didn't love the movie. I did love her in it though.
And people probably aren't aware, but they're in the same line as the Andrew and Nikki's and um, Lacey and Brennan. They've been in a bunch together, so they got great chemistry. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. What's your fifth?
My fifth, and we joked about it didn't even get a vote.
Oh
It's got
no.
my vote.
Oh
Fixer
no.
Upper Mysteries.
Which one?
Fixer Upper.
Hmm.
I love Fixer Upper. It's cute. Jewel just for not being really an actor, I thought she was fantastic in it. I liked just the premise of the Fixer Upper, the HGTV stuff. I thought they were actually good mysteries. You're talking about the scenery. I liked that. I think it was supposed to be up in the Northwest. I think it's Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. To me, it had like a New England vibe, but I think whatever coastal town. I just had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was just a really good, completely underrated mystery that if it's ever on, I will watch it. Anytime it is on, I will go out of my way to watch it. And I can't say that about all the ones, even the ones I like. I won't go out of my way to watch it. And I do that for Fixer Upper. So I made my list at number five.
That was my like sixth one. I was deciding, I'm like, do I put Fixer Upper on it? Because I love that series. I'm the same. I will watch it when it's on. It's super cute, super underrated. But I just couldn't knock any of my other ones off. So I was
And
sixth.
people are always like, "Oh, bring that back." From my understanding, from what I read, it was Jewel was the one who walked away. I'm not sure exactly why, but it was a shame because, like I say, it's a really cute one.
It
All right,
was.
so what's your number four?
Didn't make the top 16, but Francesca Quinn is my number four.
So you're just filling out. Well, actually, both of us are.
I mean, I love that one. It got
And
demolished
you know what this?
in
Sorry,
the to
sorry,
even make the
but
brackets.
what this is all the people who are like saying, "Oh, you guys were just showing bias," or why did you do this?
Clearly we weren't.
Clearly, this was not us. It was look at our
Fans.
top three, right, or whatever the three that we've named. None of them are on a list, so it is clearly not our bias, and it is a true fans decision of this whole bracket. So
And hey,
sorry,
like one other person voted for both of these movies. So there is one person who might be listening to the podcast who is right there with me, who also loves both of these movies. Maybe not together, maybe they're two separate people. But Francesca Quinn, I of the darker side of the mysteries, looking at my list, this would fit that bill. This would probably fit the bill of any of the mysteries in general. This is probably one of the darker films. Mystery 101
yeah.
is kind of darker, but this one definitely is. I enjoy it. I loved that voiceover. I know people didn't like that. I really wish we would get a second one of this just to kind of explore and deepen these because I think they could do a lot of fun stuff here. I don't know if we're gonna get it again because I just don't know if there's enough of us who enjoyed it.
Right.
But I loved Francesca Quinn, so it's one that I'll throw on or watch whenever it's on.
From my understanding, Francesca has, while it did not do well originally, it's done well on Hallmark movies now. The app, it gets a lot of play over there. Uh,
Maybe it's
John
because I
Christian
talk
Plummer, who
about it all
wrote
the
it,
time.
uh, has said that to me. So I love it too. I think it's great. I think Mallory Jensen, which is funny because I find her, like sort of a cute, bubbly personality. And so when she played that dark role, I was taken back at first, but on subsequent views, I like it more and more. So I won't argue. I won't argue with her.
What's your fourth?
My fourth is the brand new, right off the list, one off tip line. I
Hmm.
liked it way more than I thought I would.
Mm.
Like Christopher McNally, I've said it before, not the hugest fan of his, but I tell you what, as Beaks, he nails it. I think the writing is just the perfect amount of fun and quirky without getting silly and, a farce kind of thing. It doesn't go into that slapsticky, which some of the other ones kind of can tip over a little too far. I think there's a lot of room for it to grow. I love the fact that she does the tip line. So she has a reason, quote unquote, to be investigating. We talked about the chief. That's like one of the things we liked with Gourmet Detective is how the chief put Henry and Maggie, these, opposites together, but, it's kind of a similar pattern to that. And then, it's really weird. I'm a dog person, the ending with Detective Pawson, it just that one hook, just like you're in, and it just pulled me the final bit in. That wonderful, love the ending. Just I love the ending of that. I thought it was so cute. So I loved Tip Line. Give me more, give me more. I'm with everyone else.
Well, I'm gonna come back on track with the uh, everyone else. My number three is Hannah slash Murder She Baked. So that one, I mean,
I
again,
thought that would be your number. I thought that was going to be your number two.
no, my back-to-back Minnesota movies or Minnesota-based films. I mean, I loved Hannah. Hannah is one that I've watched, from the start. And when I was looking through my list, I made this list 3 years ago, I think, on my Instagram. And some of these movies have shifted. I think this was maybe four, but it is back now at three, so it's moved up a little bit. I one has bumped off, like Aurora, I've kind of bumped off just because I think there's some other better ones that I enjoy over it. So she's no longer on the list.
Do you think that goes back to a little bit of One Bad Apple being such a strong one?
Hmm. Yeah, I guess, if that would have taken a turn, that might have
Like
brought down the series.
where were you at, and why am I going brain dead on the one before when she fought with Mike?
The Zest for Death.
Zest for Death. Where were you at on that one? Were you
I,
were you kind of like going, I don't like the direction, or were you
no, I didn't
okay
like
with
the
it?
fight. Remember, we had the argument where you
Right.
said you're the feminist and I'm no longer the feminist because
But I didn't know if it was like big enough where it
no,
was like turning you
no,
on the series, because a lot
no.
of people it
Well,
did.
yeah. I think it was probably growing in the stale department, and it probably wouldn't have made my top five. I think there is other better, like Haunted Harmony did not make my top five, but could mostly just because I don't find myself. I want more of Haunted Harmony, but it's not one I'm finding myself like, hey, if I'm on the couch, I want to watch an episode. That's why that one did not make my list. Otherwise, it could have. Hannah did because there's so many. Like there's just so many to pick from. That I think helps because I can just okay, what am I in the mood for? There's something, Hannah has something along the lines for it. So that's kind of why it made my list. And I do think that Victor Webster really pumped in some new collagen, we'll say, to this. Like, just you're like, yes, it needed that, fresh
Right.
face.
I when I go to my three, Mine has gauze on it. It has some uh, neosporin all over it. It's got a cast because mine was completely beat up. It is Darrow and Darrow, which was clobbered by Mystery 101. I was one of the probably the four people who voted for it, but against Mystery 101, which
Hey, it
is
beat out Jane to make the thing, so it
yeah.
beat my movie out. So there's that.
I think it's fun. I love the leads. It's it's kind of like the ones where Kimberly Williams Paisley, I didn't like her really in things, but I loved her as Claire Darrow. I
Father of
thought
the Bride.
yes, whatever,
What? Oh,
whatever. And and I just loved her in that role. You got Tom Cavanaugh, who I think plays a great counter to her, and then at the very end you have, which by the way, she's coming back, and why am I going brain dead on her name? um Wendy Malick is, as her mom. I love Wendy Malick, so she gives just the right amount of sass and fun to it. I think it's good. It had, 4 episodes. They were good mysteries to me. I had a lot of fun with it. It's just one that I know not everyone loves it clearly, but I do. I just, you know, get me Dara over here because she loves it as well. So we're probably like, yeah, the two of the people who did vote for it right there. So we got half the votes. But it's a cute mystery. It's just a cute, fun one, old one. You know what? It's also one that always tends to be on my list. Like you're saying, things float around. Sometimes it's like number 5, sometimes it's, as high as 3 here. I think we get another cases come in, things could shake up right there. We have a lot of single off mysteries where you give me a second one, and this list could
oh, yeah.
dramatically change. So,
That is one that would not make my list. That would be at the very one of the very bottom of my list is Daro Daro. That's
yeah, no,
not
that's
my
okay.
favorite.
You
Not
can
my
you can you
favorite.
can go on your TV and watch some Jane mysteries while I'm or Aurora,
Francesca
or which I'm guessing your number 2 when you bring that up would be one as
is
well.
Gourmet. My number 2 is Gourmet.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So, and
No,
I,
no.
yep, yep, yep. So when I was thinking
I
about
don't know
this,
you.
um, I even looked at my list that I wrote like a few years ago, and I was like, yeah, my number 1 still stays the same. It's what I'm going to say when I get to my number 1. And my number 1 was the same 3 years ago, 10 years ago. Like, I just love that series that we'll talk about in a second. But Gourmet was number 3 on my list, so it moved up. Um, but it's not one I find myself, if I'm looking at the screen, what am I going to watch? It's my number 1. My number 2, Gourmet, would be my second choice just because there's not as many. If there was more, I might pick Gourmet. But even then, I had to sit with that. And I was like, you know what? I probably not. And that's why Gourmet ended up at 2. And I'm sorry. Your face is just like, oh
I know.
no. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I still love it. It's like
I
high on the list.
I
I voted for it every time.
I just feel the same pain that I felt earlier in the week when it got knocked out
Sorry.
by Crossword, just a gut punch.
I know. I just had to pause and think, is this my 1 or 2? And it landed at 2.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, my number 2 is probably
Not my number 1.
one above Darrow and Darrow on your list of all times, and it is Chronicle. Um, I think
Yep.
it's a great mystery. All 5 of them are just solid, good mysteries. I thought the whole premise of the podcaster coupled with the newspaper guy, kind of like I talked about tip line, makes sense for the Snoop is one who completely makes sense. In fact, Darren Darrow is too. And if I look at my overall list, four of the 5 are people who the Snoop makes sense. And Chronicle, like I say, it's just good. I love the side characters you're talking about, how you like your scenes. I really liked the news paper office where they're at, even though it's like the smallest newspaper, known to man, but it's regardless. And Ben Ayers, I think he I think we should do a episode where who do we think should be in mysteries? I think he needs to get back in one. I think he was really good as Drew in this.
Briefly in True Justice,
I think he had,
just a
he's,
slide in role
yeah, he's not in that. No, he's just a little bit of eye candy
cameo.
to give it a name. Yeah, he just gives it a name. Um, but the chemistry between him and Ellie, I think, is fantastic. I think they work really well together. I know that you had obviously Murder She Bakes / Hannah Swenson. I think she's better in this one than that. And we talked like I will say Murder She Baked, I've gone back and I've watched a couple more again. I am actually liking it more than I did my first go through. Um, I I think I'm just becoming a bigger and bigger LA fan, um, just in general. So at least her mysteries and stuff. So, but Chronicle, it's one of those ones. I think it's got a small but loyal group to it, who do like it, but it is small, and I'm part of that. Where I don't think Darrow and Darrow really has a group who's like, oh, give me some Darrow and Darrow and everything like that. Where Chronicle does have it, but like I said, it's we could go in like the little room at the place with the 6 chairs around there. We wouldn't need a big banquet hall like you need for Mystery 101 or Murder She Baked or any of these postable type things. Okay. I totally thought your 1 and 2 were going to be flip-flopped, but go ahead and say it.
Morning show. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly,
You
I
had,
had to think about morning shows also very close to making my list. I love morning shows,
I
so
know
I
you
was
did.
kind of bummed that it didn't make the list. I do find myself watching that. It did not though. It's Garage Sale. Like
Yep.
I love Garage Sale. Like that is where I, fell in love with these mysteries. I was just watching it last night. Pandora's Box. I was having some DMs with people who also love Garage Sale. And it's one that I think that again, there's enough of us who would definitely take more. Lori Loughlin's situation. I don't know if Hallmark would have her back. I don't
Well,
know.
my idea is to do a reboot with her daughter being
I know
the
you've said
detective,
that, but I mean, I
right?
think Lori, I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming someone will hire her at some point. So, like, she paid her dues, just like Martha Stewart paid her dues. Maybe she'll make a comeback. I don't know if
Yeah,
it will be
Martha
with
Stewart's
Hallmark.
funny though and talented.
Yeah, but everyone loves her. Everyone who's worked with Lori has said how much they love her. And she's great in the rom-com. She's great. And I always loved her Christmas movies. So maybe someone will give her a chance. I don't know. I don't know. So I would be game for more Garage Sale. I mean, you got Steve Basic, like, yes, please bring him back.
Right.
I mean, the whole just like their little, their rags to riches stores.
You just
So
want the
cute.
police
I love the
guy.
setting. Frank, yes, I want Frank back too. And the coroner, like, and always bringing him coffee. Like, it's a cozy, again, it's like the perfect little cozy mystery, small town, cute setting. Love the store because there's just so much you can do with an antique. With the garage sale, there's so many directions, so many spin-offs you can take.
Right.
And it has like 18 movies. So I do think that there could be more there and more to tell. So I would love more.
You didn't have to be so like terrible on my idea of having the daughter come back. I know I've said it before, but I think it's a good
I
idea.
don't I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Like would I like it as much? Would she
Oh,
take over the store? Like that's the thing. Like
yeah,
rags to riches is such a big thing. Like
yeah,
she'd have to have a quirky new best
right.
friend
The
to
mom, no, she just becomes pals with the current with what's her name, Sarah. Is that her name like Sarah Strange or something?
yeah. But
But
you
the mom like died in a horrific car crash, or she was
my
murdered, so she
gosh,
solves her mom's
what?
murder, and then
That takes a dark
she
turn.
marries the police guy.
I
So
don't know. I don't know. Then what Steve Basic is I guess he
his
could still be
dad,
in it.
so her dad's still around. Like
And the
everyone can still be
brother.
there. The brother can go. He's kind of annoying.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess he's not one that I would be like, hey, I need to see him in the next one.
all right. No, I think what I'll get on it. I'll write it this weekend, and we'll have it on air by the fall,
Okay.
and you'll see. You'll see.
Well,
Okay.
what's your number one?
My number one. Oh, by the way, with this whole thing of saying, "Oh, let's recast it and have the daughter step up." I don't know if you saw it. We did have someone who sent us a DM saying they should continue with Mystery 101, like 7,000 people do. But they did say, but I understand that Jill Wagner has left, so they can't do it with her. So they should just recast her and keep going. And
You
I
know
was
what they
like,
should do?
I'm like, that's even a worse idea because could you imagine how much people would flip out if they tried doing like they would be more angry that they did that than they do with not having any more, I think.
Here's what I think they should do.
I know what they should do.
Since Jill is gone, Aaron Cahill, Chris Plaha, they rekindle their romance, and there we go.
Where are you? Windy City Mysteries. That's the idea that I had in my
What
thing
is
last year.
this?
The Windy City, it's the prequel where they're actually in Chicago. And so it's back when Chris and Aaron Cahill
Yes,
were
that sounds
together.
great.
How I talk about this like
That was
every
with
other
Sydney.
day.
That wasn't with me.
I know, but
I just had a baby at that point. I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
yes, I've told
But yeah, I
everybody.
agree with you. That's
In
that's
fact, I
funny.
had
I think the
when
same
we
thing.
posted the idea, like we had all these people saying,
Good idea.
no, it got started getting shared like it was happening,
Oh,
and people had to be like, no,
oops.
that's not true. It's
Oops.
not real. Because I made like a whole movie
Oops.
poster for it and everything.
Oh, good one.
Um, no, Windy City Mysteries, 100% agree with you. That's the way they could do it.
Yeah.
Is the
Yeah.
prequel. They could
Not
keep
even a
Chris.
prequel. They can get back together and rekindle like a
Like if they
romance
go in the
lost.
future,
No, I think
I
it would be
think people
fine.
will go crazy. I think
I
the
don't
only
think
way you
so.
can do it is go before Jill,
I don't.
because
I think they'd
people
be
will.
fine.
I don't think so.
Erin Cahill is beloved. She is wonderful.
100% agree.
So
She's on my Mount Rushmore. I love Erin
she
Cahill.
should be in a mystery series. She would be one yes. She is
Good
probably
night.
on my Mount Rushmore too. I love her.
She
And
does even
Emily
in
Ulep is also one of my I love.
birthday, what was it, Birthday Stories or whatever, the one that had the terrible final 5 minutes. Other than that, I loved the movie with her. I thought she was fantastic in it. It's just she got screwed with that final 5 minutes um, of that one. But enough Erin Cahill. All right, let's talk about the reason why we're all here. Gourmet Detective, number one, best mystery, hands down. Great writing, great acting, great premise, great chemistry. There's literally nothing wrong. Great secondary characters. Nothing wrong with this mystery. Nothing at all.
I love it.
So,
Someone DM'd us and said that or wasn't, it wasn't a DM. Maybe they DM'd me. They're like, I tried. I couldn't get into it. And I'm
oh
like, I love
yeah,
it. I love
we
it.
yeah, I think that was in the one where she's one of the ones who's just now getting into the mysteries.
Yeah,
And
and
so she
that's
said, "Oh,
okay.
because of you guys talking about it, I'm going to give it a go."
That's
I
okay.
don't get it. I like it's got a little bit of humor in it. Uh, Henry Hill, Henry Hill. It's not Henry Hill. Henry Hill's the guy I think who was the uh, guy that Goodfellas is based off of. Very, very different character. Henry Ross, right?
I think
He's
so.
he's just great in the role. The way that they come together, with the kind of like I said, the tip line, the captain saying, you know what, he may know what he's doing. Bring him in. You got in that first episode, you got Kimberly Sustad as that character with the hair and everything when she's the gourmet book writer or the cooking book writer and stuff like that. It's just fun. You had the one they go back and they put in the period costumes when they go to the party, it's the only one's dressed. So you have that, like kind of Curious Cater try doing there. Um, it just, it's fantastic. And the banter between the two, because one of the things I like, and we've talked about it a ton, is when they have that adversity, but then the detective quickly says, okay, I value you. You bring some, worth to here. And then they can still bicker and stuff, but it doesn't have that whole thing of you're just a nuisance. Tip line. They did that there, I think, which is brilliant and why it was so likable. Whereas other ones, it takes like 2 or 3 episodes before, like even Curious Cater, it took a little while there. And it's kind of like, come on, you're getting there. Let's just get there and move on. So That's what I like. But there's literally nothing wrong with Gourmet Detective. 5 episodes, all of them are good. Anytime it's on, I'll watch it. I have them recorded. It's just good. And
Well,
you were
there's our
wrong. You
list.
you should just flip flop 1 and 2, and then all would be good.
Can't help it. It's what I want to watch. That's why it's so great. They have so many different mysteries and so many different types. Like our list, we only have one that's the same. So I mean,
When was
it's
the last
wonderful.
time? And the reason why is because it's great. When was the last time you watched Chronicle by the way?
I recently, because I think you made me, and I
Oh, I
didn't
did.
like it.
Okay,
Yeah, I watched the only one that I really liked was the wellness one, because of course,
of course.
of course I would. When they were out in the little
And it's
tents.
also got
So
Lachlan
it's
Monroe,
fine.
who you like. You like him,
I
so
do. I really do. I do like I remember a casino one too. I don't
all
mind
right,
Chronicles. It's probably higher than I originally would have ranked it, but it's still not going to make my top 10, top 15, most likely. Probably not. So now to land this plane, because we've probably had like an hour
right.
discussion, and we were going to, in your episode, to kind of go into this one last week, you said we were going to talk about a movie as well. We're not going to, because that would be way too long. I told him we're too long-winded. We wouldn't be able to get through that much content. So next week, though, or this week, I should say this week, Friday, there is a new mystery, Jazz Ramsey, a canine mystery. So we will be talking about that next week. So we're going to save the crosswords one for a future episode. We are also going to have you vote, because we said we were going to review whatever won. So Mystery 101 obviously was the winner. And then I'm going to put a quote box in, and we're going to have you guys vote on which movie from Mystery 101 should we review. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. I tried to watch Mystery 101 just to make sure, should this be in my top 5? And I watched a little bit of it, and it just is not one I'm going to pick up and just watch. It's good. I don't
Right.
dislike them, but it's not one that's going to land in my
I
cozy feel.
I 100% think it's a great mystery. I like everything about it, but for whatever reason, it's like I said, it's that one which if it's on, I will watch it, and that's what my list of the 5
Yeah.
are. I will not watch Mystery 101, but I don't go out of my way for it.
Yeah.
I have
Same.
no problem with people thinking it's their number 1 and liking it, all that stuff. I totally get it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Same.
PB, we know we talked about, we're supposed to be doing our crossword, terminal velocity. We just have some new mystery that's coming up, so it will be getting pushed
Back.
later.
Yes.
What do,
So
so let's just do a quick thing before we wrap up. For Jazzy, 1 through 5, like we'll pretend it's next week. What do you predict you're going to give it on the 1 to 5?
2.
Okay.
So it came to me.
All right.
What do you say?
I think I'm going to be between a 3 and a 4. I like Rachel Scarsden. I think she's fantastic. I wanted her in a mystery. I like dogs, so it's got the dog thing. I'm just saying, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. You've got good stuff. Don't mess it up.
All right. Well, we'll see.
All right, Andrea, this was fun.
All right.
And thanks you everybody for participating. We had a lot of great feedback for people saying they had a lot of fun doing it. We've also, I think people were popping in and just saying how much they like the podcast too. So we really appreciate that. Tell a friend. Let's get everyone listening to the podcast.
Yeah, and leave a review if you have time as well. Those are super helpful as well to help people find our podcast.
Love it. All right, Andrew. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Bye.
Bye.